Hi, good day. Welcome once again to yet another episode of Solid Wood Cutting Boards. I would like to thank everybody that subscribed to my channel and that liked my videos that I've uploaded. It helps me a lot to grow the channel. So today I want to do something a little bit different. I want to do a test on different types of glues that I use. So I build a lot of cutting boards. It's a utensil that's normally exposed to a lot of hot water, a lot of washing, a lot of blood, a lot of meat. So there's a lot of glues on the market that you can use to assemble a cutting board. The glues that I normally use for my big heavy cutting board, it's a polyurethane based glue. It's locally manufactured here in South Africa by a company called Brummer. It's really good glue and I've never had any failures on my joints with that glue. Then for my smaller cutting boards, I'm using normal PVA water resistant glue. It's not a waterproof glue but a water resistant glue. I've never had a cutting board that comes apart. So, and I have a lot of cutting boards out in the market and a lot of cutting boards that I've supplied to friends. So I see the cutting boards from time to time and I can see there's really no failures on the boards. So yeah, I've got a few different types of glues. Unfortunately, in this lockdown period, I cannot go out and buy a little bit more glues. I would like to test a little bit more, but I think I have enough at the moment. So I've got normal PVA glues. I've got waterproof PVA glues, I've got water resistant PVA glues, and then also I've got polyurethane glue, and then I've got a little bit of super glue. We can test that as well. Super glue is normally not ideal to do glue ups like that, but we can test it just for interest sake. So the wood that I would be using for this glue up is Rhodesian teak. It's native to Zimbabwe. It's quite a hard wood as well. I've cut all the woods in exactly the same size. So what I aim to do is I want to do just a lap joint like this, two face grains glued together, and then I want to clamp them and let them dry for 24 hours. Then I want to take half of the samples, I want to put them in a dishwasher. It's a little bit extreme, but I think it will be a good test to see a lot of heat and a lot of moisture if it will have any effect on the wood. Then I will put the samples in my vise, I will clamp them and I will break them and see if there's any difference between the ones that was not exposed to the dishwasher, if there's any difference or if the glue lost any of its bonding strength. So let's talk a little bit about the different kinds of glues I'm going to use for this test. So the first glue I'm going to use, it's from a company Brummer. The glue's name is called Belcotan. It's a one-part polyurethane glue. It's quite a strong glue as well. It's completely waterproof, it's resistant to boiling water, so it will be a good test if you put this in the dishwasher to see what will happen there. And also it's recommended for wooden doors and window frames, for boats, for yachts and for laminated beams. So that is quite a strong glue. I use this glue quite a lot on my big cutting board and the projects that needs to be very strong. The second glue, it's also a favorite of mine. It's the normal PVA water resistant ponal glue. I've never had any failures on this glue. I've never tested this glue to see what will happen if it's exposed to boiling water for, I'm not sure how long the dishwasher cycle is, but let's say 35 to 45 minutes. So yeah, so this is another glue that I'm going to do. The third glue I'm going to test is alkaline professional wood glue. I'm not sure if this glue is waterproof. It doesn't say so, but yeah, let's see. It's also yellowish of color. It's not the same color as the normal PVA glues that I'm used to. I've never used this glue before, so it will be also interesting for me to see what will happen with this. The fourth glue I'm going to try is the normal alkaline wood glue. Also PVA based glue, not waterproof. I have used this glue in the past, no problems with it, it's quite a strong glue. The fifth glue, it's called Bondtech, a company called Lexon Adhesives. It's also a weather resistant glue, so it's water resistant, it's not waterproof, it's non-toxic, dries clear, and they also say that this glue sands quite easily. That's quite an important thing when you use PVA glues also, is to make sure that it doesn't clog up your sanding paper. So when you do finishing on a project and the glue clogs up your sanding paper, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and you use quite a lot of sandpaper. So to come back to this glue, it sands really well and it does not clog your sandpaper. This glue also sands very well. Never had problems with clogging up on my sandpaper. This glue I have used, quite strong, but it does clog up your sandpaper a little bit. And then the last glue I'm going to try, it's a normal cyanoacrylate, super glue. Normally you won't use this for any big glue ups on wood or big projects, but I use this almost every day I'm busy in my workshop. When you have small tear outs on the edges of woods, especially when you work with a router or when you're doing cross cutting, if there's small tear outs on the side, this will save you a lot of effort in redoing the job. You can if you can find that piece to chip out, quickly put it back with a little bit of the super glue and you can carry on with your project. If I can hijack my own video quickly, let me just show you what I use the super glue for. So if you have a piece of wood like this, let me just zoom in for you guys. So what I use the super glue for, let's say you have a little bit of tear out on the side, typical like this. If you will pass with a router on the edge, so to fix this is very easy to use the super glue. So what I will do is, I will take something sharp like this chisel. I will just wedge it in there to keep it open a little bit. Then I will put a little bit of super glue in there. I will take my air compressor and blow the glue deep into the crack. I will remove it. I will take a piece of paper towel and just wipe the excess glue off. Then I will just clamp it with my fingers together. Put some of the activator on. Let it dry for a few seconds, and then if you take a piece of sandpaper, a quick fix for a tear out on the side of a piece of wood. So that's about all that this super glue is good for. And like I said, I use this daily in my workshop for any small tear outs that I have. Very easy fix to do that. So the surface area that I want to glue, I want to be about 50 millimeters. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to mark all of these pieces of wood. Just adjust this to around about 50 millimeters. And then I'm just going to mark all the pieces of wood. So here goes the polyurethane. So let's take one of each sample and let's go put it in the dishwasher to see what's going to happen. So the dishwasher cycle is finished now. I removed all the samples from the dishwasher. And if you look at the samples, you can actually see there's a big difference in color between the one that was in the dishwasher and the one that was not in there. None of the glues came loose. All of them are still quite strongly intact of what I can feel. So now I'm going to put them in my vise and I'm going to break them. I'm not going to do a very scientific test. I'm just going to feel with my arm the resistance before the glue or the wood breaks. And let's see if there's any difference. So the first sample that I'm going to break is the Balco-Tan, the Brimmer glue. So let's put it in the vise. Like that. Just when I try with my hand. So this is the sample that was not in the dishwasher. So here you can see part of the glue failed and part of the wood failed. So there's still quite a strong bond. So then let's try the sample that was in the dishwasher. Now I would say there's no real big difference between the two. On the one that was in the dishwasher we had more or less the same failure. Some parts the glue failed and some parts the wood failed. Did I maybe just remind you, this is really hard wood, reduction teak wood. So let's test the second sample. First I'm gonna use the one that was not in the dishwasher. So this is a water resistant PVA glue. Let's just try again. It's actually a little bit better than the Balco-Tan. You have, I would say, about 40% glue failure and about 60% of the wood that broke. Now let's try the sample that was in the dishwasher. So that's water resistant PVA glue. So this took a little bit more effort to break than the first sample that was not in the dishwasher. And we had no wood failure, it's all glue failure. Let's go to our third sample. This is the Alkaline Professional Wood Glue. Let's first try the sample that's not in the dishwasher. This one actually broke quite easy, so I would say it took about a third of the force from between the Ponal and the Balco-Tan glue. And you can also see it's 100% glue failure that we had. Let's try after the dishwasher. More or less the same breaking strength. Here we can see we have about 50% glue failure and 50% of wood failure. Quite interesting. Just want to keep them together. The fourth sample is the alkaline cold glue. This is not a waterproof glue. First the sample that was not exposed to the dishwasher. Here we can see we had about, I would say, 70% glue failure and 30% wood failure. Now the sample that was exposed to the dishwasher. So this is not waterproof glue. More or less the same. I couldn't feel any difference, and we had about a 98% glue failure. But still took a little bit of effort to break it down. Now I'm gonna do the Bondtech glue. First the sample that was not in the dishwasher. Here you can see we had about a 10-15% glue failure, and the rest was a wood failure. Now let's try the sample that was in the dishwasher. Now this one took quite a bit of effort to break down, but we have 100% glue failure here after the dishwasher. So the last sample that I want to break was the super glue. First the sample that was not exposed to the dishwasher. Now that broke really easy. Definitely not a strong bond on the super glue. Let's try the one that was exposed to the dishwasher. Yeah, I barely put some pressure on that, and it broke loose. So to wrap it up, what have we learned from this exercise? One thing that I can tell you is all of the professional wood glues that I've used, except for the super glue, hold up very strongly. I would definitely recommend all of the PVA glues that I've tested. I would recommend the polyurethane glue that I've tested. Both of the samples before and after the dishwasher hold up quite strongly. There wasn't a real significant difference between the breaking strength before and after the dishwasher. So the bottom line is I will still stick to my Balcotan and my Ponal glue. That's the glues I've been using for the past 25 years. I've never had failures on those glues. But if you can't find that, it just shows you any other PVA glue is just as good. An interesting fact is the glue that's not waterproof, all of them also held up in the dishwasher. I can perhaps do a next test to submerge them, let's say maybe for 24 hours in water or underneath water, and repeat the test. Maybe that's something that we can do in the future. And yeah, thank you very much for joining me. Thanks to all my subscribers this far, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.